Why, when you're running around the building being chased by the zombies, did nobody ever think to get any kind of a weapon? I'm not talking anything professional, but something blunt. Nobody figures, like, I've got a bat in my room, or nobody broke a chair and grabbed a fucking cudgel. No, of course not. We all had to run around totally unarmed, throw the cop to the wolves. The cop who had the gun, by the way, the cop immediately gets discarded. They never thought to get his gun. No, of course, we had to lug a fucking camera around the entire time. No weapon, nothing. Oh, although the camera does get good use through the entire movie, it's one of the funniest scenes I think I've ever seen in a movie, where there's a zombie attacking them, and the zombie's all... And the cameraman, this is the response they do to the zombie. This is it. What happens is, he literally beats the shit out of the zombie with the camera. With the camera. Not only that, he does it with the lens. He's like... The lens doesn't break. The lens doesn't crack. It's like the POV mouth fuck with the camera. Even if you were willing to beat the shit out of a zombie with a camera, who would do this with the camera? Who would, like, pool cue the zombie to death with a camera? If you were gonna do it, you would, like, sidearm it like a rock. You would swing it like a bat. Of course, that wouldn't be very photogenic now. Not as much as beating it with a piece of plastic and glass until it stopped moving. And of course, the camera works fine from then on. This happens at about the halfway point. And I'll tell you this, if they were trying to be scary, it didn't work. Because everyone in that theater was laughing their balls off. That is not the response that you should get in a horror movie. Unless that's what you're going for, in which I really doubt that's what they were going for, was like rolling in the aisle hilarity. Like, even if you thought the rest of the movie was really effective, they were laughing at that scene. It was fucking ridiculous. And I also liked the Transylvanian superintendent for the building, who, just as people are getting shot by the army outside, finally realizes, wait, I know another way outside. And then, of course, he gets killed by the zombies. And then, instead of running and barricading themselves in a room, they decide to run up to the attic, which is run, apparently, by the Lord of Darkness himself. Ironically enough, what should have been the high point, what was the high point of the original movie, was when they get upstairs and they find out the big secret of the entire infection. Like, the guy upstairs is responsible, the guy in the attic. He's unleashed some kind of super virus, and he's like the zombie lord. In fact, that's literally what he is like the zombie lord. In the original Spanish movie, it was a really cool effect. He looked like a fucking devil. In this movie, he kind of looks like Dr. Brown from Back to the Future if he went really feral and ran around in his BVDs like, Marty, brains! And he's like this, he's kind of just farting around his room. It's not scary at all. The original movie, it was fucking scary because it was a really good effect, and he had his teeth were pulled out like that. It was good, but not here. And it made it worse was because no matter how scary it might have been, no matter how much you really might have cared about the characters, one, the poster spoiled it, and two, the woman was overacting so fucking much, you couldn't get over the fact that she was just shrieking and hyperventilating every second of the entire closing 15 minutes. Movie closes, they all die, and that's it. If you really want to see a movie about rage zombies, it's been done better. It's been done with the 28 Days Later series. It's been done with Dawn of the Dead, the remake, which was actually really good. It's just, this movie is a fucking waste of time. You guys gotta stop watching these movies. You gotta, okay, Cloverfield was an amusing diversion, but it was a 1 in a million chance, okay? And you're gonna see a ton of these movies coming out, and you guys just stop. You vote with your wallet. Stop watching these movies. And by the way, I think the same guy who made this made the Poughkeepsie tapes, which isn't even out yet. It's kind of sitting on a shelf, probably because it's so horrible. They're just waiting for a good week to dump it off on. Like when something really good is playing, they can just dump it in the theaters. But that's going to be another one. I can't even tell you what other POV movies, but I know they're coming down the pipe. My brother, he called it probably the worst movie of the year he'd seen, which I thought was unfair. It's not the worst. If you've seen Disaster Movie, that movie is fucking humiliating. At least there was some tradecraft at work with Rec, and there were some effective moments in Quarantine. It was competently made, and the acting was okay. It was all right, but man, I couldn't watch Quarantine. There was a point I basically had to turn away. I don't even get motion sickness, but it was just shaking so much it gave me a headache. It was that violent, and it was just that pervasive. Hold the fucking camera steady, dude. It's been... I'm just speechless at how bad that movie is. And that reminds me, the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is coming out on DVD. Do not fucking buy that! God. All right, that's it. I'm pretty much done with this rant and rave. Man, if you must watch this movie, watch the original. I mean, even that wasn't that good, but watch that instead. I am going to try to play a video game and calm the fuck down and get rid of this headache. By the way, the family thing that was going on, it seems to be going a little better right now. Basically what happened is someone has been kind of ill lately, and they had to have surgery. So surgery went off and everything is pretty much okay. Person's recovering fine. It's gonna be kind of a rough recovery, but things are looking up a little bit. So I'm gonna try to get back to work pretty soon. Thanks for listening. Do not watch Quarantine. I'm probably gonna try to watch Body of Lies. I've heard that one is much better than the previews would lead you to believe, which I hope so, because the previews look fucking abysmal. But anyway, have a good night. I know I've gone on for like 25 minutes, but enjoy yourselves. Have a good one.